Hello!
Okay.
Hello, Flirty. We are making a video for you to show you how to play better,
Did you know
or
fan
at all.
memorabilia has a thriving
Hopefully,
backlog?
we will be
Players
able
have
to
to be
do that,
confident as
because
the
I want
highest
you to
prices
be
are
having fun
for
in this game.
limbs and other
Also, this is for
products.
Billy. I'm
All
possibly
zesty
Irish, but I
hunters are
don't know.
not bothered about waiting for the target player to perish before harvesting.
Honestly, those halflings are evil, so who knows.
Let's play Blood Bowl!
Just chalking up the AI to being AI bullshit.
Basically. But, I do want to just show basics and stuff, and help you understand more of the game and how it's played, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing properly and, you know, figure that out.
Good day, sports fans.
Nice weather to play Blood Bowl.
By the way, I don't know if it is gonna help, but there is a setting that allows you to see the dice rolls instead of the percentages.
Wait, what?
You know when you get a percentage
Yeah, when you're
for
running and stuff.
yeah, well you can change that to a dice roll instead, or like to show how high you need to roll in order to get the thing to go.
Okay.
I know it
I
helps.
don't know if that would help, but it does that would confuse the crap out of me.
I know it helps me because it means that if you roll higher than the number, then you're going to succeed.
That might help. Some people probably think that's better. I would be confused. I like percentages.
That's fine. It's there for people who
Pick
might
your damn
want
thing,
it.
Ryan.
Cards. Getting bored. Hey, who knows the rules for nerdlings in the closet?
Why didn't
I
you
can't.
pick?
Because I can't.
Maybe you can't. Did you disconnect?
No, it just seems to want to put me through the friggin' video.
Okay. Video's been over for me, man. Man, you were laggy.
Can't help it. It's slow.
What is the fucking video? Stop motion?
It's simple. Avoid the vampires and jump
Kind
on
of.
the frogs.
That's why you're recording this. Anyway, you're setting up, so.
Alright, if you see here, I can move my characters around to set up a defense or an offense wherever I want to move them. I can also click on them to move them. So what you do is you click on one and then you pick a spot, and then you can just move them wherever you want. But you can also click on one and then you can click on another one and it'll switch places with them. If you see when you click on something, the ring around them actually like kind of lights up with these little red symbols, which means they're clicked on. If you want to like attack with somebody, you would then click on an enemy like in front of you and stuff, like during your turn. This is just setting up right now, but during your turn. And what happens here is you can actually deselect by just right clicking on like the grass or something, so you're not clicked on your character anymore. Right clicking is important because it helps you deselect a lot of things when you're trying not to, because you stay selected on things even when they're running around and stuff, so you might accidentally move them more than you want to and stuff. So you just gotta make sure you deselect things when you don't want to be on them anymore. Now Ryan's gonna try to set up a defense or something here, or an offense.
I'm setting up my attack.
Yeah. That's what offense is, Ryan.
Yeah, no shit.
Apparently we both have one magic.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I
Not
guess it,
sure why it gave us that.
I guess it randomly just decided that we wanted magic.
So when you're playing, you want to set up your players so that you have
The thing about
uh,
Blood
at
is how
least
it
3
brings
guys on the line of
everyone
scrimmage,
together
the
in
middle
the
line,
common joy of death. You
and
have orcs,
you want to make
dwarfs,
sure that you
men,
have
even beastmen sharing in
enemies
the
marked,
delightful
or
violence of
like
the
basically
same stadium,
units
and
standing
all
next to them
desperate to see some
that you don't want
shredding
to move.
death.
Another thing to note is that all things have their own stats. So if you like see this troll, he has like 5 strength in the right hand corner. He can move 4, and his agility is 1, and his armor is high. But like when you're trying to attack something that has high strength, you need to have multiple things around it, or have something that has equal strength to be able to fight it. But the more people you have around something, the more strength you get. You get like 1+ strength for every attack roll that's next to them. So it helps you like take on bigger opponents if you have more of your guys around it. That's true for me too. So it's a bit complicated. So sometimes you want to focus on the smaller guys with less strength first. If you notice that my goblins all have like low strength, but they all have like different abilities like dodgy, so you have to get a full-on
On
tackle to
balance,
take them down.
I prefer the passing game to running down the field. The one tactic is for the intellectual elite. The other is for simpletons.
Ryan is
I
clearly
like
trying to avoid
running
my
down
ball
the
guy
field.
right now.
Whenever time I am.
And your ogres.
I guess so. They're trolls, sir.
Okay, trolls. Sorry, I got them confused with the ogres. Not much different.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Aw, yeah.
So those events will pop up. They're random events that'll happen at the beginning of a drive, and every time somebody scores, a new drive will occur and a new event will occur.
Yeah. Random events can be both beneficial and bad for both the people, or just bad for one side. They're pretty random.
Those players are running each other over. Are you much of a runner on the field?
Absolutely not, chap. I stood on the line of scrimmage and my victims, rival players, came to me. The ball is currently secure, but now they must grab it.
And this is Ryan trying to position himself to be around the ball. Sometimes you want to have multiple people around the ball because you can drop it, and like sometimes your other character will pick it up. But if you do things like you want to make sure that you have decent percentage chances, because if you drop the ball or you
They
get
picked up
knocked
the ball.
down,
I
you
suppose I should
lose a
say
turn
something
basically. So you want to
memorable
try to do
or
as much as you can before you do anything risky. But that was a pretty high percentage chance because vampires have like really good pickup because of their agility. Agility helps with picking up balls. It also helps with other things like dodging. It's a pretty strong stat overall when it comes to just being evasive. Only things with agility about the same will stop things that have high agility from getting by them, because that's basically just how the game works. Agility is fought with agility, and strength is fought with strength. Oh, also, there's a quick little thing for you guys. A couple stat things that you can do. If you click the cogwheel down here and you go to settings, you can actually change like cutscene things to only be on armor breaks. That's what I use. I also, the way that I have my camera, you can have your camera in different positions if you want. You can free camera. I like Blood Bowl 1 because it's like straight up and down. Like it says like curved, like it does on a Blood Bowl 2 camera. Couple other things you can change. The AI thing only really counts for single player mode, doesn't really affect the game. But you can change any of these things you want. Basically to make a game a little easier. Cutscenes only the armor breaks makes it a bit more exciting because then it only zooms in on things that you know are damaging during fights. Oh, Ryan's attacking me right now. See how he's this is a tackle, the little yellow one. That's a guaranteed hit, like on anything. So that's like the best roll. The blue line is this, where he pushes, but it wouldn't hit me. Oh god, he injured my guy right away. That's an injury roll. Means he's on the basically screwed for the rest of the game, and or permanently injured in leagues, which is what we're doing.
You can see by the rolls at the bottom of the screen that it broke his armor, and then it goes into an injury.
Yeah, these are all the rolls that are happening in game. Like you can actually click on it and get like recaps of everything that's happening. So you can see what's going on. See, what Ryan's done is he's like done all the highest percentage stuff first, and now he's doing lower percentage stuff now. Like how he picked up the ball was 80% for him, but that dodge was like 60, so he had a less chance of that working. So he did that last, or lesser. You always try to do the stuff with the higher percentages first. They aren't guaranteed to work ever, but it's better to do things that have a higher chance first because you have a better chance of just doing it. Positioning and things like that should be done first. Especially if your character's free. If there's no enemies nearby, you can just free move without worry until you run near an enemy. If you see the colors here, like if you ran into this yellow zone, like right here, you dodge. You have to dodge past his swing. Same with the yellow and the red. So these are like danger zones when you're running, and they like have percentages chances that you'll just fall over. So you have to be wary of stuff like that.
I need to finish up my turn soon.
Well, you only really have to move your vampire now.
Yeah.
Which,
I'm not sure I want to move him anywhere where he's gonna get in danger though.
I mean,
My vampires are my prize units for this team, so they're the ones I want to protect them.
that's true. Your thralls are worthless.
You'll always want to throw the cheapest units you have at the enemy and let them take the hits, rather than letting your expensive units take the hits, because there's always a high chance of them dying.
Yeah, if you watch the roll I just did, there's a chance that this character just doesn't do anything. It's called Really Stupid, and he just didn't do anything, and now he doesn't do anything for the rest of his turn.
He also loses his tackle zones.
Yes, he literally doesn't do anything until next turn. Oh damn, double stupid roll, fuck.
It happens, man. They're really stupid.
I'm not really playing a bashy team, so like the best I can do is just kind of run around and secure angles. Now, these guys, goblins have like a dodge and a stunty thing, which makes it easier for them to get away from people, but it's not guaranteed still, it's just higher percent chance. But on the opposite side of that, if they get tackled, they have a higher chance of being injured, basically, and they can just die super simple, which is one of the drawbacks of having those abilities. Like, almost all the abilities in the game have drawbacks, like for the most part. Which is like the balancing factor of this game, is that there's good things and bad things with all things. Now, if you see these dice right here, like when I'm doing my roll, you see like right here, that's a percentage chance for me to dodge this guy in front of me. If you also see these red dice in front of him, like floating over his head if I clicked on him, that's that's his dice basically for when I attack him, rather than my dice. Because whenever you attack an opponent with red dice, they get to choose the result, so they'll usually choose the worst result. So attacking things that have red dice is risky, but you sometimes just have to do it because you're in like a bad position. But I'm gonna choose to run because my character has a pretty good chance of getting away here. But I'm gonna run this guy behind him first because he doesn't have anything like that can stop him, so he'll just run for free.
Sprinting. Let's hope it's going to be okay.
And he didn't trip. So if you see these dice, these are extra rolls. You can roll 2 extra spaces every time you move any character, but they're risky. Like, they have like a percentage chance of whether or not you can make it. Like, if I go for it, it's like 83% chance I'll make it. And that's pretty much true for everyone except for people with high agility. And that's basically just because like you can move a little bit extra to get out of range of things if you want to risk it, but that's like a risk thing. So whether or not you want to do that is up to you.
Dave. Hey guys.
Hey Dave.
How's it going?
We're
Everything's
doing a
alright.
video
We are doing a video.
to explain it to Flirty and the others who haven't played it.
And because he tripped, I could re-roll that, but I'm not going to because it's not really worth it. So I'm just gonna skip that and let him be on the ground. And then see how he tripped, then my turn ended, like automatically. Because if anything goes down, or you get any bad rolls basically, like a skull or anything, it will basically just end your turn. I'll show you some attack rolls in a minute. I just don't have I don't have any way to do that because my trolls rolled bad. So yeah, have to wait until Ryan's done his turn. But there's a couple different options that you can get when you're rolling attack rolls. The yellow one is a tackle, like a guaranteed knockdown of your opponent. Blue is a tackle as long as your opponent doesn't have dodge as an ability. So that's like your second best result. Your third is the middle result, which is the arrow. And the arrow just helps you, like lets you push your enemies around. That doesn't hurt them, it just pushes them in a direction. And you choose what direction to push them in. And the other two are the worst results, is a block tackle, which if your character has an ability called block, they don't get down from it. But if you don't, then both you and your opponent get down. If they also have the ability block, they don't get down from block tackles either, which is a skull with like a POW. A skull with the yellow marker next to it. That's what the block tackle one is. And then there's this skull, which is the worst result. Skull is just a guaranteed you lose, get knocked down, which is one of the ones you want to re-roll if you can, especially if it ends your turn early, because you just don't want to get knocked down from your own roll. But it happens. Like, skulls are just the worst result. But if you see here, Ryan has like this kind of formation around his ball, which is a safe formation. Makes it hard for me to get in there and really do anything. But I'm gonna try. But all characters in this game, just like in D&D and things like that, all have their own abilities and stuff to basically fend off or like have negatives, like how the trolls have the negative of maybe they just won't do anything, but they have really high attack, so if they can just crush you if they get a good roll.
You'll get an assist now.
But if you see this, Ryan only has the option of a blue knockdown, or a blue tackle and a arrow. And because my character has dodge, it's basically just a blue arrow for both of them. So it doesn't really matter what he picks. My character will dodge regardless. he has to get a tackle on me on my goblins because they have dodge, but because they have like a really secondary ability, um, if they do get a regular tackle on my guys, it's like gonna most likely be a knockout or an injury roll because goblins just have stunty, and stunty is an ability that helps me dodge, but also makes me more vulnerable. Basically, you want to be able to click on your units and like move them around. If you click on a unit, you can actually see how far they can move around and stuff, which helps. See, Ryan just actually got a really bad roll there, which is a skull and a thing, so he re-rolled it. Then he got. See, this is a block tackle, the skull with the tackle sign. And then he's probably gonna pick arrow here because he doesn't really have much choice. Sometimes you do want to pick block tackle, especially if your character has block, because it just either it will be a tie because they also have block, or it will just knock the opponent down because your block protects you. Blitzers tend to have block, which helps them be able to be able to block tackle like really often.
You know, I may actually say
It makes them really solid, strong characters.
waiting for the players and the coach to do something. Anything. Please, just be.
Ryan has a pretty solid formation here, so it's gonna be pretty hard for me to actually do anything.
Protect the castle.
Ah, damn! I got a stupid roll again.
I've seen mushrooms that look smart.
Oh, that sucks. I left him there just so you, even if you didn't get a stupid roll, you
Wow!
would basically block him from moving away.
I got a stupid roll again.
I've seen mushrooms that look smart.
We've got 4 stupid rolls. That's pretty bad luck. Again, this game is pretty, like, there is a lot of RNG in this game, but it's not, like, bad RNG. Everybody has to deal with it. Like, everybody has their own RNG. Like, Ryan's vampires have a percentage chance for them to just go crazy and want to drink blood. But it's one of the reasons they have, like, some of the most solid, like, base stats in the game, because they're just, like, really good.
Yeah. Speaking of skills, the 2 most common skills you're going to see is the block and dodge skill. As Rick said earlier, they are probably 2 of the best ones if you can manage to get them on any unit. But yeah, there are a lot of characters that have high stats, but they have a negative to them, or they have a good skill, but it has a negative to it. It's just balance.
I re-rolled there, and I re-rolled a 1, so I actually wasted a re-roll. Rip. Ryan's getting pretty good luck here because my ball guy can't catch up to them, and my trolls are doing absolutely nothing. So you can see that sometimes life just hates you.
Yeah. Sometimes big guys just don't want to do what they need to do.
Yeah, it's a trade-off of having big guys, but there's like so many different kinds of characters in this game. It'd be hard to explain all of them without like you just seeing them. There's like a ton of different abilities in this game, which is what makes it really interesting. There's just so much fun things you can do and not do. But other than positioning and all this stuff, the best thing is like I can't really show you too much more. Like honestly now, like the only things that you do now is just try to score and keep formation and not get knocked over. But I will mention that like the more enemies that like on my next turn, I'll show you one last thing, like how Ryan's doing this. He got a blue knockdown, which isn't gonna really affect me, but he also got like the skull thing again. That one's a block tackle, which is only good if you have block.
My whole reason though was to just move him out of the way so that I can move.
Yeah, he's just gonna push my goblin. That's another thing you don't always want to follow when you're pushing things around, basically because like it helps you move still. Also blitzes. You get one blitz a turn, and this lets you be able to act and move. And after you act, you can keep moving. You see this little blitz symbol over his head. You can activate blitz on any character when you click on them, but you can only do it once per turn. And it helps you just kind of do a variety of different actions. You can get up off the ground and act, so you can get up and attack somebody if you want to. You can get up and move. It helps you do a lot of things, which is why you can only blitz once per turn, because it's super strong, and it lets you do a bunch of different stuff. Also, Ryan just got a bloodlust roll, so he's probably gonna re-roll that. So his ball carrier doesn't like suddenly want to feast on blood, which he has thralls for, but he'd also drop the ball.
Well, he'd also damage the thrall, which would injure him and put him off the field. I don't want that right now.
All Skaven leagues played in great caverns underground. The teams are backed by the powerful greater clans. So you have Clan Skyer teams, Clan Eshin teams, and so on.
You lost me after Bob. Jim, don't talk to me for the next few downs.
Now, there's a good chance that I won't be able to stop him from taking a touchdown. But this is just an example, really.
Too easy.
So he see the yellow ones disappear tackle, so now he'll just be able to straight knock my character down. But because it's stunty, it might get injured like right away. Yeah, see how like it's stunned, which is like probably the least of it that could happen to him. He could have been killed. He could have been KO'd off the field. Stuns are just basically you can't play around with him for one turn. And then next turn you can get him back on his feet. At this point, stun's pretty strong because he got another tackle, which is good because like tackles the only thing that can really hurt goblins. That's kind of their special abilities. They have to be tackled.
Well, they could be both down, but they would down me too because they don't have block.
Well, yeah, they can be block tackled, but that's bad for both of us if you don't have block. If you have block, like, you can just smack my goblins around with it.
Not a word, Jim. A sound. Crunch.
I'm hoping this is helping and not being more confusing. It'd be nice if I could show you some damage rolls on my own side. Just so I could show you some dice and stuff besides the red dice. But I don't really have an opportunity for that because all my stuff is on the ground. I'm going to do one more turn and I'm going to stop recording, and then hopefully that's enough information to help you. There's a couple other things I want to tell Irish and everybody else is that depending on what the differences in level and stuff for teams, you're not out of the game. I know it seems bad when you get a lot of injuries, but it lets you have like a resource when you start a game. Like when you start a game, the difference in your level for like player scores will actually let you have way more money in petty cash, which lets you buy things like how the hobbits stole your abilities, Irish, or like star players, which are just like super powerful, like extra players for that turn or that game. You can also get things like
Spellbook, which
spell books. You can get, like these are spells right here. You can use spells which help you like level the playing field. There's a lot of leveling in this game. Like there are a lot of things that level the playing field. If somebody has a really strong team, they can kind of get destroyed by you still because you can just get things with petty cash that you wouldn't normally have access to. It's the way they balance the game. So don't feel bad if you lose players or you're lower in stats or you have a lot of injuries because it doesn't really matter. You can balance it out by. Let me talk. You can level the playing field by just balancing it out with petty cash. Petty cash you get between matches right before you start the next round. So if you're losing really bad, like Irish is right now, she can actually just have a lot of petty cash and just buy a bunch of spells if she wanted, or buy a bunch of other things and like really level the actual game out. Um, so that's something, I know it feels bad when you're losing, but it's really not that bad a big a deal. You can catch up and then help your team do better because of that. Anyway, I just wanted to say that, and this will be my last turn before I stop recording. Let's
I don't know what
see.
the spell can do. It's actually a good position to use it too. 'Cause I think Fireball would do some damage.
Wow, that player got fried to the spot.
Or yeah, more of that.
Oh, god damn. I've gotten so many stupid
There
rolls.
should be brain transplant.
Wow, okay, my trolls have not been able to play this whole game.
Did this
And it's
guy
actually
leave
been
his brain
terrible.
in the dugout again?
So that's
So-
one of the RNG things.
Part of the really stupid is that if you put a player next to it, that's on your team, obviously.
You get better rolls. I know, but
you get a better chance of-
everything's too spread out. I can't do that right now. Like I said, everything has a balancing factor, and that's one of them. Oh damn.
On the floor again. This team must like worms or something.
They would not let me roll that, so that was a double stunty fail. Damn. So that was lightning, so you got to see a spell. And lightning is super strong and can take out like a player and can normally knock them off the field, but Ryan got a pretty low roll there of just, yeah, stun, which is still decent, but lightning is usually stronger than that. Fireball does AoE damage, but it has a lot less chance to hit. I prefer lightning because it has a higher percentage and it hits one thing. But that's an example of like extra abilities you can get when your team isn't doing well. Something you can buy when your team is doing low in stats and points. Anyway, I'll end my recording now.